Everyone. We'll go ahead and get started with the Ways and Means Committee meeting. Okay, today, April 27th, 2026. And let's go ahead and look at our approval of minutes. Can I get a motion and a second? Sharon and Marcia. Are there any corrections or changes that need to be made? Okay, I see none. Let us vote. Oh, thank you. The vote has been passed. Thank you. And so let us move on to our informational items for reports. And I'd like to hear from the county clerk, Ms. Rachel Parker.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Everyone received the packet or the information in their packet, and I, at this point, don't have anything to add to that. So if you have any questions, I'm here to answer.
But any questions or comments for Ms. Rachel? Ms. Sharon?
How are your visits to other places in the county going?
They're going really good. We were actually invited back to Princeville, so we've been there twice. So we had more people that second time than we did the first time. I think it was more or less just not advertising enough that we were coming. But the people really enjoyed, mostly the older people like seeing us there because they don't have to come all the way down to the courthouse.
Wonderful.
So you can get any vital record. So a copy of your birth certificate or marriage license, a copy of your deed, a death certificate. Those are the only ones that we can print on site. So, yeah. And sometimes people just ask for extra just because we're there. So it's a good revenue stream too to get additional, funds in because we're there. So they're like, oh yeah, just go ahead and give me copies of all my kids' records or something like that. So
good question. Any other comments or questions? Thank you. All right. Moving on, let's see. Is there someone from the Election Commission? I don't see anyone at this time. Moving on to our Supervisor of Assessment, Mr. Shad Jones.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Things are going pretty well. Knock on wood. In our office, we've gotten a lot of exemptions in from the seniors and disabled veterans, and it's pretty typical this time of year. We've done a good job on jumping on those and getting them processed, which is good because when people start calling after they get their tax bill, that's one of the things we like to have a handle on. How are their exemptions, including 26 payable 27. So we get a lot of questions at that time, a lot of calls. So they've done a good job with that. Board review we have a new board review person who started at the end of March. He is a returning board review member, but we had someone need to leave. So Joshua Smith is back, and it's good to have someone with some experience, and they're working with some PTAB appeals that have come in, but really not a large number of appeals because they've been working on getting them worked out prior to getting set for hearing. So board review's going well also.
Wonderful. Good.
I think that's it, unless there's any questions.
Okay. Any questions, comments? Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Moving on to our treasurer, Mr. Brandon Martin.
Happy Monday.
Happy
We
Monday.
we have got the tax bills going out May 1st. We've started accepting. Yeah, sorry about that, Mr. Kelch. Don't worry, you got time to pay it. They are available online. We were able to roll that a little early this year with a couple changes, so we've already started collecting some payments on that. That's been pretty successful. So they're all firing on all 8 cylinders. So as long as everything moves through the print process good, they should be mailed out May 1st. Madam Clerk and I spent last week at the IACO conference down in Springfield. We had a great time, learned a lot of new stuff. I did win the Best Dressed Cowboy Award with my amazing outfit. My wife was not very happy about it,
Took
but
pictures.
no photos. Other than that, everything else is humming along. So, yes, I did present on AI in the Treasurer's Office for, I think we had 72, county treasurers from across the state. So it was a really good turnout. Lots of questions. A lot of people, not incorporating it a lot in their office yet because it's still new and they don't know. And I've been trying to help them and see how they can improve their processes and double check their work as well. So
Wonderful. Okay.
very receptive.
Good. Any questions, comments? I do have one for you in regards to your tax bills. Are you getting a lot of walk-ins yet, or what type of responses are you receiving?
Just online right now.
They're right online.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Slow on the walk-ins. People are still trying to find us, but they really won't start walking until they get the paper copy in the mail. But if they did the e-only invoice or e-bill, they were able to see that right away and pay. So it also saves us quite a bit of money. I think a total of 4,500 parcels at this point don't actually need a mailed bill. So that saves us quite a bit in postage in doing that. And that allows them to pay a little early and good for us.
Good to know.
So. And they are light peach this year. So everyone seems to want to know what color they are. They're light peach.
Is that because you want to change up every year?
Well, I definitely align with Tazwell, so we're not the same color. So I checked with that, and nobody had done peach in a long time. So
very eye-catching. Okay.
I do, yes. May 1st, I'll be wearing a peach suit. So the coroner let me borrow that from the other night. So
yes,
and he was at the IACO's conference as well. So and as well as the election commission.
Yeah,
Jesse was there,
Jessica.
so, yep.
Okay, Jessica.
Yep. Always a lot to learn. So for me, anyways.
Good. Any other? Okay. Well, thank you. Good
Have
information.
a peachy day.
Oh, yes. All right. Do we have a representative from the Veterans Assistance Commission? I see none, so we'll move on. We do have onto resolutions, and there are 2. The first one is for our monthly delinquent taxes for the March 2026 for 6 items. Can I get a motion and a second? Okay. Danny Kelch and Matt Windish. Okay. Are there any comments? Questions? Okay. Let's vote. Okay. Thank you. The vote is unanimous. Thank you. And moving on now to our second resolution, and it is about ending Slipstream Administration and establishing the Illinois Finance Authority Property Assessment Clean Energy Program. And will have a presentation from Becca Contrell, but I first need a motion and a second. Sharon and Marcia. Thank you.
Okay. Good
Yes.
afternoon. I think Scott's pulling up the slides.
Good afternoon.
So today we are proposing establishment of Illinois Finance Authority's Property Assessed Clean Energy Program. In 2019, a PACE area was established by the county board, and it for Illinois Energy Conservation Authority to be our administrator of vetting projects. And we are at the end of that term. Slipstream took over for them in 25. I'll walk through a timeline here in a second. However, we are making a recommendation with 0 projects having been received by the county. We are making a recommendation to a different CPACE funding structure available through the Illinois Finance Authority. So we can move to that next slide there, Scott. Thanks. Oh, no, that's me. Never mind. Scott pulled them up. It's me. So sorry.
It's okay.
So sorry. Although outlined in the brief, before moving on to some differences and similarities, I thought I'd give a quick refresher on what commercial property assessed clean energy is. It is a finance structure allowing for a number of energy efficiency improvements, renewable energy, water quality and water conservation projects, a laundry list of items that are available with, as you might imagine, different price points. But what CPACE allows is a 0 upfront cost, as long as it is an approved project, can be financed immediately, positive cash flow for commercial, industrial, or multifamily property owners, simply because they're going to be lowering their utility bills and maybe getting better efficiency, especially if it's a farmer or something that's a grain dryer, can produce more and can do more in a quicker time frame. The financing is transferable. It stays with the property. It does not reside solely with the property owner. It's a non-recourse, so the loan is secured by the property and not by the owner's personal assets. Let me go back. I did not mention that CPACE financing is funded entirely through private capital sources. I did say repaid on either property tax bill or directly to the private lender. So that's the main difference that you're going to see in this recommendation between Illinois Finance Authority and the current PACE program that we have, is how the loan is repaid. So again, in 2019, the PACE area was established by the county board, and that's just Peoria County proper, all of Peoria County. Municipalities have the ability to adopt the program, but we have adopted it for the entire county. 2021 is when we entered into the administrative services agreement. In 25, the company that we contracted with, Illinois Energy Conservation Authority, was acquired by one of their funders, Slipstream. And in 2026, that 5-year agreement term does end. Again, we've received no applications, although we have internally publicized it quite a bit. Especially initially, we did some joint marketing with Ameren to make sure that people knew that they could stack incentives. We went to the Farm Bureau a number of times, really hitting farmers hard because it kind of makes sense for them. They're going to most likely stay in their property. Also, they can combine REAP program with it and a number of rural opportunities. So some of those differences that I wanted to highlight for sure was what the program looks like, what our timeline is, and then also some of the similarities and differences between the program. The same types of projects are approved. Certified payroll is required with growth programs. The loan to value cannot exceed 25%. So all of those things remain the same. It's really just how the financing works. So as you see, with the Slipstream Group's program and what we're currently working under, payments are made directly to the county treasurer
on the property tax bill and then transferred to the private lender. With Illinois Finance Authority, the payments are made directly to the lender, similar to our mortgage and our taxes, where we pay our mortgage to our mortgage company and we pay our taxes to the county. So it just separates those, reducing burden on county staff to be able to, put that on the tax bill, the Peach property tax bill, and also to receive those funds and then pay the lender. The county did put together some forms and adopted how we would want to move through the program. The Illinois Finance Authority program is a statewide program. It's the same regardless of which county you're in, which makes it easier for developers to be able to do projects across the state and certainly across county lines or PACE areas, I should say. Again, the assessment and the assignment comes to the county, and we have the opportunity with both programs to accept or decline that program. None of that changes, although it is a unified form or a standardized form with Illinois Finance Authority, making it a little bit of a more seamless project than each county having something separate. Contracting and program differences. The Illinois Finance Authority program simply gives the developer or the property owner, once the Illinois Finance Authority program is in place, it just gives the developer or the property owner the opportunity to use it. There's less administrative burden by us. If it's in place and they choose to use it, they can, and Illinois Finance Authority will reach out to us with notification that someone wants to use the program, and at that point, we then can approve the project. For developers, as opposed to Peoria County property owners, the standardized program again makes it easier with familiarity and combination of projects. Just want to make sure I'm not missing anything. The financing, as I said, is the biggest difference. So the current program is both are funded by private capital lenders. However, the Illinois Finance Authority would secure all of the funding for any CPACE project, and then those bonds or notes can be purchased by private lenders. So there's a broader group of lenders that can be utilized. There's a limited list of lenders with the current program. Those lenders do have to be approved through Slipstream or through IECA and meet their requirements. So if you have a property owner that's doing a smaller project and they'd like to use a local lender, their local lender can purchase those notes or those bonds, and they can work directly with their local lender. If it's a larger multi-million-dollar project, it's probably going to be larger lenders, and it's a smaller group of lenders that can do a large project like that. But as long as they meet the requirements of the Illinois Finance Authority, they can purchase those bonds and notes. So the recommendation is to move forward with the Illinois Finance Authority's program, as it will reduce the staff load from the treasurer, the clerk, as well as finance. And it's more attractive to developers and applicants. So that's my presentation. There's a lot outlined in the brief, so I'm happy to answer any questions you might have.
Ms. Marcia?
So the first time you rolled this program out, you had said that there wasn't any, participants in it. What are you doing differently this time to get more people involved in it?
So the difference is really that funding structure, the fact that there's a lot less fees associated with the program through the Illinois Finance Authority, as opposed we're skipping all of those administrative fees that having an administrator in place causes. Again, with the differences in the program across PACE areas or counties or municipalities, with the Illinois Finance Authority, it's just a flat $150 fee to the county. And then points are taken by the Illinois Finance Authority, but it's a flat 50 points.
I'm more interested in the promotion of the overall
so
project.
The promotion would remain the same from our side, and we would be the ones promoting the program, similar to before. It's currently listed on the website, and I've done a number of presentations. The administrator that we were working with came down, I believe, twice over the 5-year term, and gave presentations, one jointly with me and another to the EDC. But again, we just didn't have any programs. Most of the promotion was done by us, and we'll continue to do it. The program just would be in place if developers chose to use it.
So I'm not trying to be critical, but I kind of feel like if you didn't get any participation the first time, maybe you need to try different means to get the word out there.
Oh, we definitely had interest. So I guess that maybe that's where I skipped over. We definitely had interest. We didn't have any projects that went to fruition. So there were developers that were interested in using the program, but decided to go a different route in terms of funding, or decided not to perhaps build or do their project in Peoria County. So they maybe went traditional construction loan or something like that, as opposed to using the PACE financing. It really is it's just an economic development tool to have that in place. Should property owners want to use it, they could for energy efficiency improvements.
So is this something that if you were just like owned a apartment complex, you could use it for something like that even?
You could.
And
Yep.
in the city, or is it just in the outskirts of the county area?
It's the entire county, so any municipality within the county can utilize the program. So if you wanted to do improved HVAC in your more than it is 5 for multifamily, so at least 5 units. If you wanted to do improved HVAC in that building, you could immediately start to see your tenants would see a reduction on their utility bill. You would see it on any other common areas that you have a meter for, but you could make those improvements and immediately start to see that money back while paying the loan, as opposed to any upfront costs.
Okay.
It makes a lot of sense for farmers too to do upgrades in equipment, like as mentioned before, or water conservation projects on a property that they're most likely going to maintain within their family, and can make those improvements without any upfront costs.
Thank you.
I do have a couple of comments. And this, I believe you did make mention of this, but this is restricted just for commercial, or if you have say, for example, an apartment in that respect, it's not for residential.
Correct.
Is
It's
that right?
commercial, industrial, and then multifamily 5 units or more.
Yeah. Okay, good. One other comment, you made mention of the tax bill, and that if they decide to finance or whatever, is that optional to put it on the tax bill or go in another direction if they so choose to use that program?
Right. So what we're doing is if we establish the Illinois Finance Authority program, the payment would go directly to the private lender, directly to the bank, as
Okay.
opposed to going through the treasurer's office. But it doesn't totally preclude us from going the other way. We just don't have an administrator for that program.
Okay.
And I believe most will choose the less fee-heavy program.
Okay. Any other questions, comments? Okay, I see none. So let's, can I get a vote here? Okay, thank you. The vote is unanimous. And before we move further, we do have a representative from the Veterans Administration Commission.
Hi, good afternoon. Sorry for my tardiness. I had
Glad
a
to
call
have you.
right before I was walking out from a family. All right. Michael's out of the office today. My name is Trisha Collins. Some of you I've met before, some of you I have not. Been with the county now for 28 years.
Yes.
Michael wanted me to report to you that we had 468 veterans walk in March. Office and phone appointments, we had 861. Interactions with veterans is 2,298. New money that have come in, like lump sum payments, is over 6 million. Total money then would make it 54 million. We have 416 veterans getting monthly benefits that we've assisted from our office. We have a current active claims of 1,757. Appeals waiting for a decision is 797 with a total of active claims of 2,554. We have brought back a walk-in Wednesday as of 5/27/26. So veterans or their families can walk in on that day, and our representatives would assist with them.
Mm-hmm.
Been pretty busy. We've got Tazewell that we've been navigating. They're working on getting a new superintendent, so that's coming along. It's been a long process, but I've been happy to be over there and help them try to navigate that a little bit.
Great. Wonderful.
So that'll be great. I hear that they have a very good candidate, and that should be released pretty soon as to who's going to be going in there.
Mm-hmm. Any questions or comments from Ms. Tricia? Tricia, I do have one. Are you seeing some of the same veterans coming in on a regular basis?
Yeah.
Usually they're satisfied pretty much. Okay.
Some will be, it takes a little bit longer for their claims. It just depends on what type of claim it is. We're losing a lot of the Vietnam veterans. I just lost two. Friday, I lost one that I was really close to, and then my father-in-law just passed away on Saturday, which he was my former father-in-law.
Mm-hmm.
I've assisted both those family members in getting benefits. I also had another one. So I've done probably 5 within this past week,
Okay.
and those were all Vietnam veterans.
Okay. Good.
So we are seeing new, old, and former.
Mhm. Okay. Yeah.
Just a
Is
little-
there usually do you all have a follow-up program for, even though the veterans may come in, they may be satisfied for the moment, do you have a follow-up where you all follow up with them?
We do.
Mhm.
We have a follow-up process
to
with
know.
that. So if you're new, there's multiple levels that we deal with. So you could be a new
Yes.
veteran walking in. There's a process for that. It could be a veteran that is a repeat veteran. So there's a process for that. Or a
Mhm.
veteran that, had come in previously. Maybe we've retired their file and they've come back because they have new material evidence. And so we could be working with
Good
that
to
as
know.
well. Or the veteran passed away and now we're helping with the family.
Good to know. Thank
We
you.
have 2 currently looking to go to national cemeteries.
Mm.
We're working with the coroner on one of them. Unfortunately, he had sat in work for like 4 months. So we've stepped in for that one. Previously, we have taken 13 unclaimed to Camp Butler, and that was about a year and a half ago. So we do continue to see those every once in a while, as well as where the families don't come in and take their loved ones, unfortunately. So I'm able to step in and help with that.
Good to know. Thank you. Any other comments, questions? Thank you,
You're
Tricia.
welcome. Good to see you all.
Okay, I don't see anyone from Election Commission. Okay, we'll go ahead and move on. I see no one else. Any public comments? Okay.
Not public. I just didn't want to interrupt your flow, so I waited till the end. I wanted to give a huge shout out to my staff with the move we did in the last couple of weeks. It was everybody worked, the entire facility worked incredible. So I'm glad we got that done. And I want to give hats off to CFO McCord for her and her team helped us with the audit. They chipped in. We were drowned
Wonderful.
and they really stepped up to the plate. So I want to thank you.
Hooray.
Appreciate
Way
it.
to go. Working together. Thank you. Any other? Miscellaneous? I see none. Okay, the meeting is adjourned. Thank you. Well done, Miss Becca. Thank you, thank you, thank you.